Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to What Do You Say? I'm your host, Frank Terminé. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can update you on any new material that we put out here. And we have today Rob Elsey, and he's been on the podcast before. We're doing a little refresher, and on behalf of Andrew Ross Terminé Foundation and Nina's Wings, we're doing a fundraiser tomorrow. Ope's Charitable Fund is involved in this as well. So we are doing a fundraiser at Oak Ridge. It's a poker tournament, and some of the money is going to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Some of the money is going to Kim Fry's family, and then some of the money is going to your foundation.
Yeah.
And so we finally, for the longest time, Nina's Wings, before you and I chatted, we really didn't know what we were going to do with those funds and how we were going to partner in the community. And so I feel that it was certainly a blessing to come across you. I wish we would have done it 4 years ago and had a better idea of what to do when Nina got out. But I think that's another thing. We can't be the only family that didn't know that these things existed.
Right.
And so education and awareness
big time
of your guys' presence is a huge thing, other than the fact that y'all need a shitload of money to make this thing turn.
Yeah. Awareness is the real word there, man. And awareness across the board, for not only awareness for what our foundation does, but who it feeds to, which is Oxford House Incorporated, and then just awareness of how many people like you and I are impacted by this so deeply, I mean, devastatingly. And it's just, I think addiction will always be the unspoken evil in the room, Here, I did a podcast with Anthony Nzanga, and it was basically, he's a first responder. Ooh.
And we talked about post-traumatic stress disorder, and it ultimately fed into the mental illness category. But it's like people deny the fact that mental illness even exists.
Amen.
And especially people who don't suffer from any type of it.
Right.
Right. And I was given a very, very short bout of anxiety. Thank God. It was a very short bout, but I feel like God had me go through that to change my perspective on my patients and just people in general who suffer from mental illness. Because, and I've said this on the podcast before, I would look at people's past medical history and I'd see depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and I'd be like, fuck, here we go again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately the indictment was on me. My experiences that I was having with those patients was my fault. It was my inability to address it and my inability to see how their mental health was affecting their physical health. Or physical health affects their mental health.
Yeah.
Which is a huge thing that core personal training is trying to do.
Yeah.
Is connect those things now.
Yep.
And so
we're working together on me.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Because I'm it's funny because I get to stand up and speak a few times a year in front of a lot of people, and I'm what the recovery community calls a normie, right? I don't have addictive disease. I don't have it. Trust me, I've tried. I've drank enough and other.
Here, I got to be honest with you. I don't have it either. I've done everything you can do.
I mean, same here. And it's
everything but heroin. And I never got addicted to anything.
Marijuana, not a big deal. And I do have mental health issues, right? I'm ADHD. I'm diagnosed bipolar. I don't know if that may be more so just something the ADHD brings out in me. But I have trauma from it because I was raised back in the 70s and 80s when it didn't exist. Try harder was,
Or it was you got the shit beat out of you.
Yeah. In Catholic school, you did.
Yeah, you got the shit beat out of you. right? Like little bastard. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Fit in.
Yeah.
I literally was told by a teacher one time, "You need to try to fit in." And I'm like, "What the fuck, man? I'm doing the best I can."
Yeah.
So, but my addiction comes out, and we've talked about this, and my addiction comes out in an eating disorder, right? So, we've kind of come to the conclusion, I think, in this country that all addiction has some type of trauma behind it, but you have to have the DNA in you to become addicted to drugs or alcohol. Just the trauma alone won't do it. The trauma will make you drink. The trauma will make you smoke weed. The trauma will make you do drugs. Trauma will make you overeat. Dealing with that trauma until you confront it. But if you have, addictive disease, the DNA in you won't let you stop. And the trauma never gets addressed because you're high all the time.
Right.
So
you're stuck in this.
You're stuck in this
hamster
cycle. Like my body's telling me I need the drugs or I need the alcohol because I just physically need it. Yet I'm pretty fucked up in the head because I never dealt with the trauma.
Right.
And so I think that's what we don't realize, that most of those things go hand in hand. You look at the homeless population, I don't know this, but you can't tell me that 100% of it is mental health driven of some sort.
Anthony Nzanga, you need to listen to the podcast. He said that. He said these homeless people aren't homeless because they're lazy.
Yeah, or they lost a job and couldn't find work. And no, they
physically can't function
can't
because
do
their
it,
mental
man.
illness is so
I mean,
bad.
if you're out standing in the middle of a busy 4-way intersection pointing at cars, there's a pretty good chance that you have something wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're lazy and don't want to go to work.
Right.
Right?
Because who really wants to go to work? I mean, how many days do you wake up and like, man, I can't wait
Well,
to
you
go
got like 9 jobs, so you definitely don't want to. But
yeah. I mean, so it's like, and I shouldn't say that. I really do like what I do.
I do too.
I do. But there's times it's a pain in the
Oh,
ass.
100%. 100%. You take life and kids and all that. And like, why do I want to go to work?
Right.
I could really use a month off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's so important to try to lift the stigma of
Amen.
Number one, mental illness and or addiction.
Yes.
And number two, getting help is weak.
Right.
Lifting those two stigmas. And even though I know, and I could sit here and tell you, the addict was stupid for trying the drug in the first place. The addict couldn't help but become addicted.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And I could tell you that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you don't get to a point with your loved one who's an addict and you throw your fucking hands up and say, hey, I can't. And you know what? You can't help them.
No. I say that all the time, that and I'll reference my oldest daughter, that, I don't know what Friday it was that she put her letter jacket on and got in her convertible and drove to State High School. I doubt that morning she said, hey, I'm going to a party tonight and I hope they have weed because I want to try it because I cannot wait till I'm prostituting myself on the streets for methamphetamine.
Right.
Never once did that cross her mind.
No.
Right? Nor the 10, 12, 20 friends she had with her that night that are all now in their 30s with kids had that happen to them.
Right.
Yeah, that was not a choice.
And here's the main thing. There is a chemical inside the addict's brain. We don't know what this is. Clearly, we don't. Otherwise, you could test for it.
Right?
Right? There's something where you could
antidote
say,
for it?
You could say, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, if you fuck with this drug, it's going to grab you and it is never going to let you go. Okay? Now, that may deter someone. It should. If it doesn't, then you deserve it. You're fucking stupid.
No, right?
Okay? All right. Okay. So if we were able to do that, which we're not, that's one thing. But now you have to explain to your kids, hey, listen, understand something. You think you may be recreationally trying something. You may be recreationally experimenting with something. You may, in your mind, that's what you're doing. You do not know what's going to happen after that. You do not know if you have that chemical or that gene that's going to make that drug get its fucking claws in you, and then it ain't letting go.
I have well, they're getting older now, so I would say 7 and 5, but 6 and soon to be 8. My little girl's 8, and my little boy Joey's just turned 6. They're biologically they're my oldest daughter's kids, and we adopted them when she wasn't able to care for them, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a real gift. but they both have some mental health issues that we're dealing with, and we were blessed that we have found the right help. I think getting medication. I'm not ashamed to say that we use medication to help correct some of their mental health.
Sometimes you have to.
Well, my little boy was probably not going to make it through the first quarter of kindergarten until we got his medication right, and now he is advanced for his age. So, it allows him to be him and not let the mental health take over. But what we're going to have to teach these kids is that there's a really, really, really high probable chance that you have addictive disease in you.
Your two kids,
my
right.
two kids,
genetically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from my side, their biological mom's side, my ex-wife, that side, and we're talking generations of mental health and addiction.
And I haven't really studied it from a genetic standpoint. Have they identified a gene? If they have identified it, is it dominant? Is it recessive? Do both parents have to carry it? How is it working?
And I don't know if there's many years ago, 7-8 years ago, one of our founders for Grace, he was working kind of in that field, and there was somewhere up north, like Wisconsin or Michigan or somewhere, there was a doctor who was able to, through DNA, identify, like, you have to go this way, you're going to wind up this. You have to, and I don't remember, I never learned too much about it. I don't know how that, but I think all we really know is if your direct parent is, in addiction or in recovery, it heightens your chance of, and I don't know the percentage, but it is pretty high that it can happen.
Well, then in that case, it has to be a dominant gene that only one parent has to give to the kid. I think so. That makes sense.
Yeah, it really makes sense.
Right, because if it was a recessive gene, then both of them would have to give it to them.
Right.
For you to see.
Good point. So it is a dominant.
If they're saying that if you have a parent that you have this increased probability, then you would have to assume it's a dominant gene and only one parent has to get it.
Yep.
So ultimately, you would have a 50-50 shot.
Well, that's right, because
that's fucking high.
It's very high. My father was an alcoholic. My mother had extreme mental health issues, but no addictive issues. And my brother and I, neither one of us have any addictive issues. So it didn't carry through somehow. But awareness is huge, man.
And so your daughter. Let's talk about this before we get to the whole Grace thing. But your daughter, how old was she when she started struggling with addiction?
Probably late junior year of high school, early senior year, so 17.
About 17 years old, and it started with what?
Just booze and weed.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was all it was.
And you knew that she was smoking weed and drinking.
Didn't know about the weed, knew about the booze, found out about the weed probably late into her senior year.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so late into the senior year, you find out she's smoking marijuana, and you knew that she was drinking, and you...
and we're naive as hell, man. We were okay with her drinking because I drank in high school. My wife drank in high school.
Here, I got to tell you, had I not had the experiences that I've had, I'd probably be like, whatever. Here, I'll be honest with you. When Ross, Joseph, and Nina were in high school, I used to tell them, hey, if you guys want to drink, come here.
Yeah.
Come to this house.
Yeah, be safe.
And this way I know I have everyone's keys. They're in my gun safe. Yep. No one's leaving. I know mine are at home.
Yep.
Right? And so win-win situation, right? Don't throw up. Don't get in fights.
Right. Yeah.
Knock your lights out. Have fun. And I used to do that. In hindsight, was that the smart play? Fuck, Rob. I don't know, Rob. I really don't. I mean, here at the end of the day, they're I really don't know. I mean, they're going to do it, right?
Yeah, I'm going to let you off the hook here and tell you that was a good decision on your part because you're not enabling them. It was going to happen regardless.
Let's just make it safe.
Make it safe. And the addictive side of it was going to happen regardless. I mean.
Right, because eventually they're going to drink at some point.
So maybe, they drank at 17 instead of 21. I mean, it's still going to happen.
Right.
And and I honestly think that part of me thinks that the sooner we can figure out a child or a kid, young adult, has it, the better. And I for sake of anonymity, I won't say who, but I know a young man that smoked a lot of weed And he turned 20. He didn't drink until he turned 21. We turned 21, he started drinking, and that was the lethal combination for him. I say lethal. That was the combination that set him over the edge. He was blessed that he got into some traffic accidents, and he's a good kid, and he comes from a good family, and the fear of incarceration freaked him out so bad. He played the crazy card when they picked him up for the traffic accidents, and they took him to psych instead of jail, and he got into treatment, and he's now living successfully in an Oxford house. So he's 21 years old. Now he'll fight this battle the rest of his fucking life, man.
That's the thing.
But he didn't wind up dead. He didn't wind up incarcerated or in deeper trouble. He didn't have an accident where he hurt or killed somebody.
Right.
Because you hurt and kill somebody.
Do you know how many times? I'm almost ashamed to say, but we would drive drunk.
Oh, in the 80s, man, it was expected.
Here, and you know what me and my stupid friends would say? Hey, I'll follow you, because they'd be drunk as shit too. And then
I'll make sure you get home safe.
Let's follow each other. Good idea. And we would be like, yeah, we're fine. We'll follow each other.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant. And my big thing, I never was ever concerned about a motor vehicle accident. That wasn't my concern. My concern was, don't get pulled over by the cops. Go the speed limit. Stay in the lane. Don't get pulled over. That was the only thing I'm thinking about.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So I was never one of them guys that got drunk. It's like, oh, I'm going to go speed. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. No. I started driving like an old lady when I was drunk. Not saying that it was right. It's still dumb as the day's long to do it.
I was the same, and I was a hot rodder. I drove hot rods, and I would drive like a maniac. I don't know how many wrecks I had, how many careless and imprudent tickets I had. But if I was drinking, 10 and 2, baby, because I didn't want to go to jail for that stuff. Way.
So stupid. So your daughter graduates from alcohol and marijuana to what?
Yeah, it progressed quickly for her, unfortunately. So the week after her senior year of high school, she graduated. It was a Sunday night, and I called her out on the weed. And I lied to her. She was getting ready to start real estate school because she was going to assist me. And I told her, hey, when you take your real estate exam, you have to do a drug test. And her eyes got as big as saucers, man. And she was like, fuck. And she bolted out of the house, and we didn't see her the rest of the summer. And that's when we realized, this might be a little bigger problem than we thought if she's willing to run away from home over it.
Right.
And at that point, it had graduated into Xanax a little bit. And
so she started with downers.
Yeah, that was always her thing. And I have a theory that
so she wasn't on methamphetamine?
Not yet.
Okay, so this does happen.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I couldn't remember the story.
I have a theory that benzodiazepines lend well into methamphetamines. They kind of carry into when you can't do one, you wind up doing the other. Kind of like where pain pills lend obviously easily to opioids.
Right. I'm just shocked that you would go from one extreme to the next, because a benzo is going to drop you and the meth's going to.
Yeah, you're right. It does. And I don't know. The meth could have just been culture. When you're a street person and you're kind of just living wherever you can find a place to stay, that's what you're exposed to.
And that's what was around.
And that's what's around.
And if there was a fucking needle, she may have grabbed it.
Oh, yeah. And she, I don't know how often, but she was an intravenous user of methamphetamine too.
Okay.
So the meth is. I'm literally convinced, and I've heard this from friends of mine that are in recovery, that it only takes one time with methamphetamine. And so I have a really, really, really dear friend, a younger fella, like a son to me. And we were talking one time, and I'll get it not right, but he basically said, Rob, I was a typical kid, man, that liked to smoke weed, and I was an addict probably back then. My mom smoked weed, and so we just kind of, I didn't care much about life, and I worked in construction and whatever. And he said, but the first time I ever smoked methamphetamine, all I wanted to do was smoke more methamphetamine at any cost.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Isn't that crazy?
I can't wrap so a little too much self-disclosure here maybe, but whatever. So I used to fool around with cocaine. I would get drunk and I would want to do coke, or if I did coke, I would want to drink. and it's funny because I went I went and seen somebody at one point because it progressed to the point where I was doing it way more than I should have been. Would I ever say I was an addict? Probably not, because when I was done, I was just done.
Yeah, no, you just enjoyed it.
I just
or needed it.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. You could probably analyze this 100 different ways. But the shrink said, "Hey, look, you're not addicted to cocaine and you're not addicted to alcohol." He said, "You're addicted to a third drug. When you use cocaine and alcohol, your liver metabolizes a third drug called cocaethylene." He said, "You're addicted to cocaethylene because anytime I drank, I wanted to do cocaine." And if I remember one time we were over a buddy of mine's house and he had some blow, and we were watching a football game. I bet I did 3 or 4 lines of cocaine and I left, and he had a Quick Trip right down the street, and I pulled into the Quick Trip, grabbed a 6-pack of beer and slammed 3 of them in my car. And I'm thinking, what the hell's that all about, right? I'm not even paying attention. Just like I just pounded them, 3 beers, just rocked them real quick. And I'm like, so then as the habit progressed and I started noticing, man, every time I get drunk, I'm gravitating toward this cocaine. And never would I ever drink, and this is throughout my 20s, if I didn't have cocaine with me or within arm's length.
Wow.
Right? And so that's when I realized, okay, the psychiatrist said, "You're addicted to cocaethylene." He said, "If you want to stop doing cocaine, stop drinking." And so I did. I just stopped drinking. And
Wow.
now it doesn't bother me. It's crazy. It is so crazy. I used to be, anytime I got drunk, I would salivate over cocaine. If I knew somebody had it, I would start to get the sweats and feel like I have to go to the bathroom. Right? I could be stone drunk. You could put a pile of it in front of me and I have no desire to use it.
That's awesome.
No desire to use it. And you know what? I don't know why. Maybe it was because I took such a long time away from
Detachment from it.
and that just shows you how your brain will rewire.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But where was I going with this? I mentioned this for a reason. I came up on that for a reason. But so methamphetamine. So one time someone gave me what I thought was cocaine and it was meth, and I did a line of it, and I'm like, "What the hell was that?" I said, that don't taste right. I said, "That wasn't cocaine." They goes, "No, that was meth." And I was like, "Oh, shit." Right? Whatever. But, Rob, I went home and went to sleep.
Woo.
I mean, it did nothing for me.
Wow.
Nothing. It just, I mean, there was a jolt, right? That just lasted a little bit longer, but it wasn't a jolt like cocaine was. Like it was just, I just didn't like it.
Huh.
I did it one time and I was like, this ain't for me. I don't like it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Crazy. But
Wow.
but anyone else that I ever know that has ever done methamphetamine had the reaction that you're saying.
Yeah.
Which I don't like feeling like, I don't even like coffee, Rob. I don't drink it. I don't.
Not a STEM guy.
I do not like it anymore. It's like I became very intolerant to it. To any type of upper. Don't like the way it makes me feel. So anyway, I think, you know, you have that gene or you don't have the gene. Back to our original
100%.
point.
100%. Yeah.
So now my question for you is, she bails, and you're still thinking, man, it's a lot to just take off booze and weed. I mean, come on. You could fix that and go get a drink at one of those places and clears you out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's an easy fix.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on here?
Yeah.
And so you don't see her for 2 months.
Yeah.
Then what?
She got herself into UCM
Okay.
and started a semester at UCM. She's there a few weeks, kind of reached back out to us, connected. She couldn't fill out her FAFSA forms without our help. And we were arrogant and stupid and naive enough that like, oh, you don't need that. We'll just, you stay on the straight and narrow. We'll go ahead and cover your tuition for you. And she makes it the full year. She comes home that summer, a hot mess. Hot mess. And that's where like, wow.
Just tell me what you mean, a hot mess.
She wasn't into meth yet, but she was doing lots of Xanax, 3 or 4 bars at a time. I mean, yeah. And so she would, like, we woke her up one morning because she had a job interview, and she went to wake her up, and she was asleep, and just I couldn't get her hardly conscious, and she had a chocolate bar all stuck in her hair because she fell asleep with like a Hershey's bar or some shit. And we're just like, this is bad. So we try to find a treatment resources and struggle, and finally wind up at back then what was Shawnee Mission Medical Center. They had a great IOP, intensive outpatient. Get her there, and they're like, she's not doing good. We recommend.
I got to tell you,
inpatient.
I would not waste 1 second on outpatient rehabilitation for an addict. It's fucking useless.
Yeah,
it's useless.
It is. And I'm sorry for anybody out there that runs one, but
I mean, if you don't know, it's useless.
It's if they've done residential, it's great aftercare.
Sure,
right. But it's nothing more than a glorified AA meeting. So I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right?
It's useless.
Yeah, and it's taking And
Here,
that's the
if somebody runs one of those and they're offended by what we say, contact me. I'll put you on this thing, and I want you to rebuke it.
I like that.
Just rebuke it.
Yeah.
Show me some evidence that they work.
Yeah. So we got her into one of the best residential treatments for young people down in Canton, Texas, called Sundown Ranch, and she thrived. Came home like we hadn't seen her in a long time, and they recommended that she do some type of sober living, and that's when we got her back up here. We tried to.
The place that we sent Nina to in Boston, they ought to blow the motherfucker up. I swear to God. I mean, literally. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? We know nothing about. Now, obviously, this was during the whole COVID thing, and so there was no. We couldn't go up there. We couldn't visit her. Everything we did was on Zoom. But what a bunch of useless fucking idiots, right? I mean. You don't communicate anything to us. You give us no resources, no nothing. You send her home and say, and dummy us, we're like, oh, she looks great. She's gained weight. Her skin color's great, blah, 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 blah. The same thing every naive parent does, right? You want to just think, hey, it's done, it's gone, it's behind us.
Yep. Yeah. Move on.
Right.
Like, yeah. And I pause for a second just because it's deeply emotional for me. I would have given anything to have the knowledge I have today 8-9 years ago.
Okay, so let's walk through
12 years ago.
So tell me why. Tell me how you think the outcome would have been different. What would you have done differently?
What we've learned because of being so ingrained in the Oxford House community. And when I say so ingrained, I mean like I'm ingrained. We don't just support it. I go to the functions. I hang out with these people. Some of them, it's hard to say. Some of my closest friends are part either in Oxford House or alumni of Oxford House. It's this model that replicates recovery. And you're living in a house with 7, 8, 9, 10 of your brothers or sisters struggling with the same fucking thing you're struggling with. Every morning they all say the same thing. God, give me another day. God, give me another day. It's heavily 12-step based. I don't know anybody who gets through real recovery without claiming, Christ is their
Well,
higher
the reason
power.
why is because addiction's demonic.
100%. It's evil incarnate.
It's evil.
It is. And that's where the
demonic.
DNA part fucks me up a little bit. So are we saying they have evil DNA? No, I think what happens is...
No, the devil tricks you.
He finds your weak points, man.
Yeah, he tricks you.
He finds me in my weakest moments, and that's when my eating disorder goes bananas.
No,
That's when I'm weak.
He's smarter than we are.
He is.
No, he is. If you
Evil
don't
prick.
concede to that, then you're dumb as
You're
the
right.
day's long.
You're right. You're right. Or you're so vulnerable. You're
Mickey
fucked.
that has slipped is God says, this is his kind of backhand to the devils. Hey, I'm going to put something on earth that by himself or herself is nothing compared to you, but with me can absolutely
Destroy you. Yep.
Right. And it's just kind of like a backhand.
Yep.
And so
I love that.
That is the Mickey that's slipped.
Love that.
And at the end of the day, the other Mickey that is slipped is the devil can't reveal himself without confirming the existence of Jesus.
Right.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah. So it's he cannot do one without the
Can't
other.
have the omega without the alpha.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. But I digress. addiction is 100% demonic. I think the biggest trick the devil ever did was convince everyone that he does not exist. And I think people are fighting a spiritual battle and they're trying to do it with physical medicine. And when you don't engage the spiritual component of addiction, you lose.
100%.
Because even if you clean
Amen.
out your house, an empty house will still deteriorate.
Yep.
You have to bring Jesus into that
100%.
situation.
So
I don't know one addict that
No.
has not gave his life to Jesus.
Nope,
that got out of it.
nope, 100%.
And it's so strong that some of them even still have, and they still struggle going back and forth.
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, it's funny because so through getting ingrained with the community that I just call our community, I've learned a lot about addiction. I hear so many stories, the recovery stories, and I think what I just didn't realize is how bad it's going to get before it gets better. What you can do for your loved one is be there to support, but do not enable. Figure out where that line is between helping and enabling,
that's hard.
It is hard. And then the bottom line, the very, very, very bottom line that nobody ever wants to hear, especially if you're a parent, it's a child that you're dealing with. If they don't want help, you need not bother try. That sounds terrible, right? But if they don't want it, the only person that's going to get hurt in this situation is you, the parent. It will fuck you up, and it will fuck you up so bad that you might actually die yourself. I have been so physically ill over Caitlin's addiction. There were days I didn't know I'd survive.
It's brutal.
I was 267 pounds, man, just trying to just grab air, on a daily basis, and I couldn't find purpose or meaning. I'd lose hours sitting in the recliner, and I didn't even know I was doing it. And it was just destroying me. And
because you can't get out of your own head, it paralyzes you.
is what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And the
Yeah.
ultimate answer to that is
Nothing.
there's nothing you can do.
Nothing
you can do.
But
Nothing.
you're never going to be able to turn your brain off.
No, it's
There's
hard.
no parent that I know that could turn that is the thing. It's like torture, not just one person, but it tortures the entire family.
Oh yeah.
It tortures.
Yeah, it's a family
the
disease, brother.
entire
Family disease.
family.
It's a family disease.
It's horrible.
And I tell you what, I am blessed, so thoroughly blessed that my wife and I, when it came to Caitlin and her disease, we were always on the same page. It never brought conflict between us. We never fought over what we should or could do. When it was time to help, we both felt it was time to help. When it was time to walk away, we both felt it's time to walk away. You and I spoke a while back about Caitlin and where I thought she was. Turns out that's not where she is, that she's in Cass County Jail again. So she is still here on this earth. But
so here, you were literally convinced yourself that your daughter was deceased.
yeah.
So that you could get your own sense of closure.
Yes, sir. That is exactly right.
And she wasn't.
She wasn't. And I will tell you this.
How did you find that out?
I got a text from Cass County Jail wanting me to load her canteen money so she could get commissary. Just out of nowhere, man. It was 2 nights ago. Came across my phone. And
She never called you?
no, she won't.
Why?
I don't, how do I say this, man? She's
Too
not
proud?
No, she's not really there, Frank. She is gone for all practical purposes. Her physical being walks this earth, but Caitlin Marie Elsey doesn't exist anymore. Now, could she come back? Maybe. Has she gone so far it's going to be really hard? Yeah, harder than most. I mean, she's if we've had Grace for 8 years, she's been a daily methamphetamine user now since 2013, 12 years.
Fuck.
Yeah, so she's gone. When you say it's evil incarnate and it's demonic, it is. And it steals your soul. And I don't think her soul can come back. I'm just going to tell you this happened. And when I first started with you, I was in a pretty weird place. We were told by multiple people, and our family therapist that's helping us with the kids, that until I let Caitlin go, I'll never be able to have a real connection with Mariah, my 8-year-old. And me and Mariah really struggled. Now, know that she is the spitting image of her mom. She talks like her mom. She has animated hand motions when she talks like her mom. She says "dad" the same way her mom did, and and I shouldn't say mom, bio mom, because Anise is her mom, but I really had to work on that. So we literally, as you know, moved because of it, and so we had to move into a house that was more fitting for the kids. Because we lived in about the same size house, but it just wasn't kid appropriate. It was built for a single couple. Cool house on acreage, but the kids had no friends. So we buy a house, and it needed a little bit of remodeling, and I took it to like 20 levels higher than that for no reason except in my mind, to let go of Caitlin, I had to build this house for my family and for the kids. And so in doing so, I was able to let go of Caitlin. And you're right. And
so you did that psychologically so that you could connect with your 8-year-old.
Uh-huh.
You convinced yourself of that.
Mm-hmm. And it worked.
And it worked.
And it worked. We are connected like we've never been before. We just have, yeah. And so I really, by letting go doesn't mean I've given up on Caitlin I know that the Caitlin that I raised and that I love is gone. Maybe she'll come back, maybe she won't. But I remember her as the beautiful kid that was running cross country. I remember her as the funny little 12-year-old, starting middle school that was awkward. I remember her as lots of things, beautiful things. She was funny as hell. And I don't want to remember anything past June 6th, 2011. That was when we realized she was an addict. And so when I found out she is still alive and in jail, sorry, audience, my first word was like, oh, fuck. Because I've worked really hard to make this little beautiful party of 4 because our kids don't know yet. And we have to tell them.
They don't know that they think your dad and your
they
wife's
think,
mom.
Yeah.
They don't know your
Which
grandma,
it's going to come down
grandpa.
on us real hard here pretty soon because we now live in a neighborhood of 1,000 kids. And it's real obvious you look at me that I'm not 38 years old.
Right.
I'm 59.
Right.
And I got a 6-year-old, right? It's like, wow, that's no. So we got to address that. And honestly, it's just.
Why don't you reach out to her?
I don't really want to. I know it's she's not there,
How long has it been since you've seen
her? She came back accidentally for a few days in 2000. It would have been 2022. Prior to that, I hadn't seen her since 2019.
So you haven't seen her in 3 years.
Yeah.
And prior to that, you hadn't seen her in 3 years.
Yeah.
So you've seen her twice in 6 years.
Yeah, and when I saw her 3 years ago, she wasn't there. She showed up on our door middle of the night because cops found her somewhere, took her to a hospital for a wellness check, and somehow they had our address in the system for her. So they put her in a cab and sent her to our house. And she was beating on the bedroom window because I turn the lights on, and she's standing in front of the front door. And I looked at Anise and I said, "Who is that?" She goes, "It's Caitlin." I didn't recognize her. Head was shaved. She had a scar from here to here.
From a fight?
She didn't know. She didn't remember how she got the scar. She went to the hospital and got stitches, but she didn't remember why. So we got her into a detox, and then we got her into Healing House.
This was in 2022.
2022, yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I was willing to do for her. That's all I could do for her. She's a street person, doesn't need insurance. And Healing House, Bobby Joe Reed runs a really magnificent program for people like that. And we got her in there. I think she made it 6-7 days, hopped on a bus and left. And we weren't shocked, disappointed for sure, but not shocked. So that how much meth has gone through her brain between now and then and now, And my friends, any friends I have, and y'all know who you are, that came out of long-term methamphetamine use, the only way they were able to, because their brain is so saturated and your cognitive ability is so jacked up, you couldn't, like, you could go to treatment, but you couldn't survive in an Oxford house because you have to take care of yourself, and they can't. So
it literally makes you dependent.
100%. Like I heard, we got her in Oxford House back in 2019, and I think her job was like to load the dishwasher, and she's like, "What's a dishwasher?" So they can't, and she got Yeah, it was a tough deal, but a decent amount of incarceration, and I can't even imagine how hard it is to get sober while you're incarcerated. And people say, "Well, they can get drugs in jail." It's like, well, yes, of course they can, but one of two things happen, I think, when you go to prison, and I don't mean jail, prison, for drug use or anything that drug related, is you're going to do one of two things. You're going to join the gang so you can get high, or you're going to go to the AA meeting and find God. And the ones that go to the AA meetings and find God make it out. And when they get released, they go into an Oxford house, whole different person. And amazing, because they hold themselves accountable. And you're a good dude, so you hold yourself pretty accountable. We can't touch the accountability they hold themselves to. I mean, it's every second, every minute of their life.
They have to.
They have to.
They have to be hyper-disciplined.
Yes.
And which is why a lot of them, in my opinion, become hyper-successful.
Yeah.
Because they're taking these tools that prevent them from doing drugs and applying them to their everyday life, and next thing you know, they're fucking millionaires.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, they're badasses at everything they touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably why the devil went after him in the first place.
For sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Oxford community is, because it teaches that replication, and you're living there. And the cool thing about Oxford is you can stay as long as you want. You never have to leave if you don't.
Because at the end of the day, like this, I don't know where the insurance companies get that they could do 3 weeks in an inpatient rehab facility. After that, we're not paying for it anymore. It's like, come on, dude. That's a year-long process.
Yeah, that's literally setting them up for failure. Like, well, why do we even bother treating them at all? Why take our money at all then?
That is a year-long process to be able to handle the stresses of everyday life after you did what you did. I mean, and it's not anyone's fault. I mean, how many people have experimented with drugs? I mean, come on. Think, if you were to sit there, I just wonder what this number would be. And take all the Americans and say, here, how many people have experimented with drugs? And then take the number of people that became addicted, okay? And say, okay, look, y'all did the same shit, right? Why are we crucifying these people?
Yep.
Right? Why are we making them crawl on the cross and nail their own fucking
Yeah, because the demon isn't the person. The demon is the drug.
1,000%. No, it's not any different than demonic possession. It's
100%.
like literally when you're dealing with someone in the midst of drug addiction, you are not talking to them anymore. You're not. And they're irrational. They lie. They trick you.
Oh my gosh.
They do everything. They do everything they have to do, and you bite on it. Hook, line, and sinker. They take advantage of the fact that you love them. They play on every weakness that you have.
Yep.
It is demonic.
Yep. And it's funny. I think about this a lot because I really am a food addict. It's not a joke. It's like, well, how can you be addicted to food? You have to eat. I said,
Love food.
Yes, you do have to eat, and that's why people don't realize that it actually is an addiction for me, right? I mean, I fight it every day, and most days I lose. Working on it. Yeah. But drugs, so I can talk openly about my food addiction. Everybody just kind of laughs. Like, it's like, no, it's not funny. If it was the other way and it was anorexic, you'd be worried about me. But mine is overeating.
Right. Well, here, not for nothing, both of them are incredibly detrimental. Look at all the comorbidities that come along with overeating. So, you got hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes. I mean, that's just 3 of them.
That's without, blood pressure, stroke, heart attack from the fat,
right.
All of it. So, but it doesn't demonize or criminalize me, does it? Because I can get my food legally. Yeah. I don't have to lie to anybody. I will tell you, however, I was telling a story one time when I first got healthy and was real, and I was telling a story about how I would lie to my wife. She would look on the credit card to see if I bought fast food because fast food was my thing. And I would eat 3 or 4 fast food meals a day.
Oh, it's terrible.
And so she could smell it on me too. So I would drive somewhere and find a trash can to get rid of my trash. I would brush my teeth. I would lie about it. And then I'd go to bed feeling guilty and tell myself tomorrow's going to be a better day and I won't do it. Well, that's 100% what addiction is, right?
Here, I used to put myself in the pantry and lock the door. I didn't want Michelle. I didn't want her to hear me crinkling through the bags. I'd shut the door so she couldn't.
To this day,
she'd be like, Frank Terminé, get out of the pantry.
I know we just moved to this new house. I'm like, where's my hot spot?
Yeah, here.
But it's drugs demonize you and criminalize you because you can't get them legally, right? And or they incapacitate your brain so you act out differently. Where the food, yeah, it gets me high as heck. It does, but it doesn't make me do crazy things. Where drugs and alcohol, I mean, I drink enough, yeah, I'll do some stupid shit, you know?
Sure.
So
yeah.
Drugs and alcohol do that. When you do it excessively, you're that person that's, a bad person.
Well, and there's so many people, because despite my eating habits, I've always exercised. Always. And finally, I just got to the point where I'm like, I work out way too hard to look like this. You know what I mean? And I just got fed up.
Yeah.
I said, I work out way too hard to look like this and feel like this. I'm doing something wrong. And that's when I met Mitch, and that's when the whole thing started. And people, in my opinion, just don't know how bad they feel.
Boy, man, I know this isn't the topic today, but it's funny because I've just got done, spending 6-7 weeks now remodeling this house, and it's been the hardest journey I've had physically in my life because I physically wasn't prepared for it because I'm not in good shape. If this would have been 2021 or 2022, I'd have done it half the time.
Right.
I wouldn't look like this. This hand doesn't work because my diet's crap. I don't work out, and and I know it. Like I bend down, I can't get back up, and I used to be able to get up off the floor without using my hands.
Right.
Now I got to find a 5-gallon bucket to pull myself up.
Pull yourself up. Yeah. People they don't realize it, and so many people they'll look at me and I'll be having these consults and they're like, "Oh, I eat healthy." I'm like, "Come on, dude. Seriously." I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick here. There's no fucking way.
But and it's the same thing for that as it is for the drugs and alcohol. It's trauma based.
Right.
For me, it's trauma based. It's.
So you would make the argument that someone who overeats has experienced some type of trauma that they're covering.
Yep.
With food.
There's a mental health disorder going on there, and it's probably trauma based.
Yeah.
They're either not dealing with it or they don't know how to deal with it.
And that's a big thing too, is knowing. Because I remember when I finally decided to go to therapy, and me and my wife were talking, and I'm like, I don't have a clue how this looks. I don't know how to deal with this. I've spent my entire better half of my life, last 25 years, just shoving it down and just going. And so now here I am, I have to, I'm putting myself in a situation to deal with this issue. Right. And I don't know what to do. And I told the therapist, I'm like, look, man, here's the deal. I'm like, I'm just going to be obedient to this process. I said, I'm going to come here. I'm going to talk to you. If you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to let the cards fall where they fall. I can't imagine I'm going to end up more fucked up than when I came in.
This shouldn't cause more problems.
But whatever. Let's give it a shot. And I like the guy. I enjoy talking to him.
Yeah.
But I've had some negative responses to therapy too, every single time. Every time, and my wife finally said, hey, listen, we're not going to make any plans on days that you have therapy. Because there was 2 times we were supposed to go out, and I was kind of excited about going out. I went to therapy. I'm like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to talk to no one. I don't want to see no one. I don't want to be around no one. Put me in my room, give me the remote, and let me be a vegetable for the rest of the day.
You're done.
I'm done. And I can only relate it to what I do for a living, being a physical therapist. Initially, the shit hurts. Initially, how many times I've told people, look, if you're going to quit because it starts to get worse first, don't even bother. Save your money. And so I'm not going to quit because it's getting worse at first. I'm just going to keep going and keep going.
Yep.
And hopefully something. And he asks probing questions. They're supposed to.
Yeah.
You know, they ask probing questions. They pick the scar.
Yep.
Right. They'll make you bleed a little bit.
Yep.
You know, they do all those things, and I guess it's his job. I don't know, but so all right. But it's you know, I was listening to Toby Mac. Toby Mac had a son that passed away the same way we lost Nina, and he made the comment in this interview that he said therapy is a beautiful thing, and he paused and said, "If you can do it," and I didn't really ever understand that. I didn't really ever understand that. I just kind of let that go in one ear and out the other.
There's no way to get the pain out of you until you go through the pain.
Right. And that's what I'm going through, I think, right now is the if you can do it part.
Yeah.
You know, because I could see, because when my son initially died, I went to therapy a couple times and I was like, fuck this. This is no good. I don't want to talk to this jerk off. I don't, you know, what's he know? He ain't went through nothing. You know what I mean? Fuck him. And I'm not going anymore. I didn't go. And then Nina passed and I started going to therapy again with Michelle. Went twice. Was destroyed after every single session, both times. I'm like, I can't go to therapy on a Friday and then be wrecked the rest of the day. Fuck this. I ain't going. Right? Michelle, you go. Kids are going. They're good. They're getting help. I'm going to go do my thing. I'm going to go to work. You know what I mean? And so, once again, just bury the shit down. But I think I was unconsciously affecting my entire family by not dealing with my shit. You know? And so, was I being the best husband? Was I being the best father that I could be?
You and I have a lot in common, brother.
Probably not. Right?
Yeah.
But you can't make an excuse that, I went through some trauma, because at the end of the day, the world don't fucking care. That shit's going to keep spinning.
Yep.
That's just going to keep spinning.
Nor is it a pass to be a dick.
To be an asshole.
You
right.
know? To be bad to your kids or bad to your wife.
Or bad to your
and there's a real good chance they went through it too.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and that's all you're doing is making their pain worse. Because now they only just lose a sibling or a child. They losing a spouse and a dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you can't do that.
Yeah.
So because of Caitlin, you started Grace.
Yeah.
Giving recovering addicts a chance at evolving.
To evolve.
To evolve.
Yep.
Giving recovering addicts a chance to evolve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you start this 501c3.
Yep.
And the 501c3 functions to fund Oxford houses.
Correct. We have the contract for the state of Missouri to provide funds for outreach workers. And there's just a couple of them. And they support all the houses because the houses are self-run. And every resident pays their own way each week. So the outreach workers, really, their biggest goal is to find more landlords to rent to create more Oxford houses. Because the houses themselves, you get 12 or 15 houses in an area, they create a chapter. And the houses then will vote officers out of the houses to be the chapter officers. So let's say there's a men's house that's kind of struggling. Somebody's being a dick. They don't know what to do. They call the housing service chair of the chapter, and there's one for men and there's one for women. They'd call the male housing service chapter, come to the house, do an emergency meeting, and work through it. And really boil down what's really going on here. Is somebody being bad? Are we bullying? Is there a bossism situation? There's the replication of the model, and they follow. And so that's why it's so freaking scalable, because there's not a paid person in every house. You don't have to have an employee to open a house. You just have to have a house. So we decided that was the route we wanted to go, because we couldn't figure out any way to get more bang for our buck than that. So what started out with 5 houses, they got an outreach worker. He came in, moved a house, started opening up houses, and now in Kansas City, I think we're right around 30, 31 houses, and we're at 60 or something across the whole state. So yeah, it was just, and we're on getting ready to sign contract number 8 with Oxford House. It costs us about $250,000 a year.
$250,000. So if you're paying the mortgage on the houses.
Nope. The houses are owned by landlords. And they get the mortgages, the rent is paid by the residents. What we pay is the outreach workers. Now, don't think that these 2 outreach workers make $125 a year. They do not. They're paid okay, but their benefits and their expenses and their travel, and they are part of a national organization.
So you mean to tell me I move into an Oxford house, and there's 4 guys in this Oxford house, me and 3 other guys, and the rent's $1,000 a month. I have to come up with $250.
No, financial viability doesn't work for an Oxford house under 8 residents. So any Oxford house will have a minimum of 8. Used to be 6, but now rent's gone up a lot. So it'll have 8 houses. So the house, like say, and it's kind of just based off of if a house has 10, easy numbers here, has 10 beds, they're going to pay the landlord $2,500 a month. So they get about $250 a bed per month. But what costs the resident is about $135 a week is what you'll pay as a resident.
So you'll pay $540 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. And the rest of the money goes to what?
It just helps. They accumulate and they build up cash reserve in case, let's say, something crazy happened and they had to evict 3 members. They'll still have money without having a full house. And then,
Got it.
And they pay up to chapter too. So let's say something really bad happened and the whole house relapses. The chapter will come in, kick everybody out, start interviewing people, and bring maybe Joe from here and Steve from here.
So hold on. You say that like that's happened before.
It can.
The entire house?
It hasn't happened since I've been around, but it can. Relapse is part of recovery, unfortunately. So,
And what are the rules if someone relapses?
0 tolerance.
You're out.
Out. You get 60 minutes.
You get 1 hour
They'll
to
call.
get
They'll
your
call
shit.
it. They'll call an emergency meeting. They'll call you. They'll test you. You fail. Call a vote. Motion to evict. All favor aye. Well, that took 2 minutes, and they got 58 minutes to get your shit and get out.
So wait a second. They can vote to keep them in.
They never would. It's a 0 tolerance.
So the votes.
Yeah, and the vote may be if it's like dismissal because of suspect behavior. If you test positive, it's guaranteed.
You're done.
You're done. Now
But
you
if
can
there's suspicious behavior and they haven't got a positive test, they could still vote you out.
100%. You're just being a jerk.
They could vote you out.
Yep. And the same rules apply. 60 minutes to get your stuff. Yep. And the cool thing is if you wind up getting evicted because of a relapse, you can apply to a different house once you get sober. Not that house because you've been evicted, but you can apply to a different house. So you go to detox or whatever, dry out. You can go to another house and apply, and they're going to know, but they'll vote, probably. And if you leave on good standing in your relapse and you want to come back, you can. And I was at an event this last weekend.
Good standing. Tell me what you mean.
Like you alumni out. Like you leave on your own accord.
Oh, okay. You're like, hey, I'm cool.
Yep, everything's good. I'm going to go do it on my own. Me and the girlfriend are going to shack up. I got this. And it doesn't work out and you relapse and you
come right back in.
You go to a different house or even the same house. Just call back because you left in good standing. Yeah, and that happens. And so our recidivism rate is crazy low because, relapse people before they relapse, they usually have a plan. And they'll leave before they'll actually relapse because they know they can't relapse in the house because their brothers or sisters are going to call them out.
So they know damn well they're
Like,
going to relapse.
I'm going to use, my girlfriend's getting high and I just want to get high too. I'm going to go ahead and move out so nobody thinks anything about it. And so there is very, very little, less than 1% actual relapse in the houses while they're residents.
They discharge themselves, go relapse,
Yeah.
and then come back with their hat in their hand.
Yep. And I was at
God, what a sickness.
Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? I was at an event this last weekend where there's a couple guys that have come back, and I saw a couple people I hadn't seen in a couple of years. Like, hey, are you here as an alum? Like, no, I'm back in. Like, oh, brother, what happened? It got them. Disease got them, took them down. They came back. But they know it's so good and so effective. Like, if they had a good experience and alumni out and then they relapse, like the very first thing they want is, I got to get to a house. Probably get to a meeting and then get to a house. I need a sponsor. I need to get to an Oxford house and get my shit together. It worked last time. It'll work this time. It just works. It's like living with 5 sponsors, 6 sponsors.
Have you done any research on the number of people who discharge and don't relapse?
Yeah.
What's the number?
It's like, so if you stay in an Oxford house, and this is a little old, a couple years old, but if you stay in an Oxford house 18 months or longer, 5 years later, it was something like 90% chance we're still 90% we're still sober.
Fucking awesome.
It's it's amazing. So here's the deal.
So now you're really looking at, you're saying 18 months for 90%. And you can't go to an Oxford house until you get dried out in rehab, which is going to be at least a month. You should be longer.
Yeah, but I mean, they'll take them. They won't take you if you need detox.
You detox first.
Detox first.
They don't want you having withdrawals. Then.
Nope. You gotta detox first. But if you can't get treatment, you can still get in. And desperation is a real good thing, right? That opens the door for you as being desperate enough. So we've determined that isolation is the evil side of addiction, right? The antidote is just the opposite.
Community,
connection.
Wired for community. Because here, once
and
again,
that's what this is. It's community. It's connection.
Here, that's huge because the whole entire thing. I remember listening to Tony Evans, who I think is brilliant, but he talked about if you study what the enemy is trying to do, the whole entire thing, everything he wants to do. I don't care what sin he throws at you. It is aimed to separate. Period. Case
Divide and conquer, brother.
Aim to separate while keeping his kingdom intact. And so drugs 100% do that. And so the fact that there's this community, you're battling it with community.
100%.
And that's brilliant.
Build an army, man. Recovery army.
Because when you're weak, someone else can be strong.
100%.
And there's going to be times at any given point where an addict is going to have this issue.
Oh, yeah. Because they got jobs, man. They're working. They got relationships.
They might have an asshole boss. They might have who 100%.
Knows? 100%. Yes.
You know?
Yeah. That's why I have dozens of friends that are just so close to me because we can just relate on such an honest level because they don't operate any other way, except pure honesty. And they'll call me out for my shit, and I can call them out, and we just have a lot of fun.
You need someone to do that.
100%.
I mean, someone who's going to blow smoke and agree with you at all times.
That's the old adage is like, I work an honest program. And I mean, I'm a normie. I'm not in recovery. I don't want to make anybody think that I'm trying to put a facade on that I am, but I work an honest program. I start my morning with gratitude, and go from there and just hold myself accountable. And when I feel like I'm not holding myself accountable, like, yeah, okay. And I got some of these guys that I'll call when I'm feeling kind of fucked up because they'll talk me through it and they'll hold me accountable.
Accountability and extreme ownership is, if you study these 1%ers, the basis of like here, Chuck Kuda was just on. You know Chuck?
Yeah. Know who he is anyway, yeah.
He wrote a book called Ego Strength, and we had him on the podcast, and the whole entire thing, the foundation of it is accountability. Over and over and over throughout the entire book. But all of them, they all do the same shit. It's like, so I've started to, when things go wrong, even if it's not my fault, what could I have done better?
Well, part of it is mine, yeah. What can I do different? Yeah.
And I always tell the people that work with me that are in sales, guys, never, ever, ever take the accountability off yourself. If some shit goes wrong in one of your facilities and it's not your fault and you know it is not your fault, do not take the accountability off yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. If they want to take the accountability off you, great. Don't do it. It is a recipe for disaster in every aspect of your life.
Yep. Yeah. You want a healthy relationship? Make sure you're holding yourself accountability for that relationship.
Yeah, you have to.
It's marriage 101 there.
Right. God.
Yeah. So we're blessed that these 8 years that we've built this thing from nothing to I didn't have anything to do it. All we do is raise the money and write the check to them each month. But it's amazing.
I want to finish with the fact that I'm blessed to have gotten to know you.
Likewise, brother.
And I'm excited that Nina's Wings is going to be able to play a small part. Hopefully it gets to play a big part.
I get emotional. We're honored. We're really, really, really honored that you see that in us, and I appreciate it. It's cool because, again, community, right? You want to beat the evil out of this, beat the shit out of this evil disease. We do it together, and so something you and I have in common is I think we take our own tragedies and we try to. The only way we can make any sense out of it all is to figure out what good can come of it.
Right.
Because that's it. That's all you got.
Well, there's been plenty of times, God put this on my heart with initially with Andrew Ross Terminé Foundation, and then really pretty much immediately after Nina died, Michelle was like, I just want to do something. I just want to do something. She just kept saying it, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. And she's like, I don't either. I said, let's just form the 501c3. And Nina had this badass tattoo on her neck, and she, it was these wings, and so we called it Nina's Wings. That's how we came up with it. And so I said, I really don't know what to do with the money. And so initially what we did was whatever Andrew Ross Terminé Foundation was donating to, Nina's Wings just donated to that too. And then after meeting you, I was like, here, this is what we need to do. I mean, this is where it needs to be, and this is who we need to partner with.
We're
because
blessed.
This is exactly what we wished we had. You know what I mean? And dummy me, you just like every other parent probably, hindsight's always 20/20, but you think it's just done. Right? She came home, she looked great, she's smiling, she's everything, laughing, giggling, and then you think everything's over, and it's not. And what here, I say this, would she have went to an Oxford house? Probably not. Hell, she wouldn't even stay with us. She wanted to go back to her own apartment, do her own thing. So, but anyway, Andrew Ross Terminé Foundation, we pick someone new every single year.
I love that.
But I think, after Michelle and I have talked, we think this is gonna be.
Well, our foundation breakfast is October 23rd this year, and you will be there with Michelle and whoever else you guys want to bring. And you will see how big this community has gotten, and you'll know that Nina's Wings is a big part of this.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so. Hoping so. So we're doing the tournament on July the 19th, and so we're chopping the money up in thirds between Nina's Wings, Oaks Charitable Fund, and Andrew Ross Terminé Foundation, and then Nina's Wings has decided to partner with Grace. And thank you for everything you do. I know it's a pride-swallowing siege, to do these things. It really is to ask people for money.
It is. It so is.
it's brutal, but here we get a tremendous amount of support, and the event is going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun, and
I think I'm gonna try to play poker. I don't know how.
There's a lot of people that don't.
My money's gonna go fast.
You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. There's a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing. And so, but here, we're going to start doing it at the last part of February or the beginning of March every single year. We used to do that when we first started this, and it was a huge turnout because the weather would finally start to break. People were been in their houses for the last 3 months, and they were ready to get out and do something.
And now it's summer vacation.
And now I'm here. How many people are at the lake? How many people are out of town? And we really, 2 years ago, got a fantastic turnout in July. We did it last year in November. Terrible idea. I think we only had like 40 players. We're expecting at least 70 tomorrow. So I'm hoping to get even more than that. But we're going to start doing it last part of February, beginning of March, like clockwork every year. So now I'm going to have to do it kind of back to back. But whatever. And then from there on out, we're just going to do it in February and March. And it's a good way to get people out, get people together, and it's for a great cause.
Heck yeah, man.
Great causes.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me,
We will play
brother.
this at the poker tournament. I'm going to play Kim's at the poker tournament at the beginning, yours during the dinner, and then
You ain't got time of it for edits, so it's going to be a lot of raw stuff. Be
Who
fun.
cares? Who cares? So I do here. There's hardly. That's all they probably do is edit the sound. I like it to just be
Let it flow.
let it go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
brother.
I appreciate it, Rob.